Been a few hours, but it felt like days. Only been days, but it felt like months.
What's up, y'all? Hold up, let me get y'all together. Okay. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. Okay, welcome back to the channel. It's your girl. Hold on. Why do I feel like? There we go. Welcome back to the channel, y'all. Okay. I am Shanice. Ew, I hate the way I said that. I'm Shanice. Alright, this is part 2 of my truth, my story, and having a friend who is a very severe self-sabotager. Okay? So, this is part 2. Part 1 was more so like it gave you background. Part 2 is more, we're diving more deep into the relationship aspects, okay? In part 1, you heard me talk. Okay, hold on. Let me reverse. The person that the friend that I'm referring to is, her name is Josie. Okay, that's her decoy name. Name is Josie. What I said in part 1 was I mentioned two of her, no, three of her most interesting relationships, 3 of the relationships that I feel like made the switch in the friendship even more aggravating and more severe than it was. Like, when she went through whatever she went through with those 3, it was like everything went to East Hell, you know? So, this is part 2. Now, I have a new phone. I'm recording on my own phone. This is my new phone. Okay, so I can now pull up my receipts and have them very much accurate. Okay, I don't remember exactly what I said in part 1. I wanted to say I talked more so about Marcus. Yeah, more so about Marcus than I did anything else. And I'll say his name because he don't know me and I don't know him, so I'm not worried about him finding out unless he can put 2 and 2 together. Then I don't know what to tell you. But like I said, I'll say his name because the fuck, I don't know you. I'm gonna move on to the second person. Okay, now after the whole situation with Marcus had subsided and she finally stopped talking, I mean, I'm gonna try not to curse in this one. Okay, after she finally stopped talking to Marcus, apparently there was someone in between Marcus and the dude that I'm about to mention. We're gonna give him the name Tommy. Okay, I don't know why, that's just where we're gonna go. So between Marcus and Tommy, there was somebody that she just hunched on. Okay, you know, they did a little, is there horizontal or vertical? No, horizontal tango. Okay, whatever, it might be vertical, I could be wrong, I don't care. But they was just hunching at each other. Cool. And she didn't tell, mind you, she didn't tell me that until a few months after we got back to school. So neither here nor there. Tommy, he sort of came like a blow of wind, you know, just and appeared type vibe. And at first I was just like, okay, you know, like I didn't care. I was just shocked because I'm just like, you just stopped talking to one dude, now you're talking to another. And not even talking to, at the time that I found out about Tommy and Josie, they were pretty much boyfriend and girlfriend at the time, right? The whole summer she's spending her time at his house. She's at his house, she's at work. His house, work, and occasionally her house. But, you know, pretty much the whole weekend she was with Tommy. And her and Tommy was, you know, hunching on each other as well. But the thing about it is they were not hunching on each other with protection, right? So she comes out of nowhere and she sends me screenshots, okay? July 30th of clearly last year. She sends me a thing. She's like, I'm going to have a panic attack. I'm going to have a panic attack. And I'm like, what happened, right? Then she sends me the screenshots of her and him talking, right? He's basically telling her, if you're a fellow black person, you know, like the old superstition and saying of someone dreaming about fish normally means someone's pregnant. So he's telling her his grandma had a dream about fish. She does not know the superstition and the whole thing that goes along with it. So she's just like, okay, like, what do you mean? He's saying that he hopes it's his mom and not Josie. I almost fucked up his her name. I almost messed up his her name. And not Josie. And Josie's like, she's not catching it. Until after, well, no, he was like, he thinks it's his mom because his mom hadn't gone through menopause yet. He's telling her, he's like, I'm gonna just get a test, you know, to be safe. And she's saying, she's like, oh, for your mom? He's like, no, for you. Just to be safe. So she's like, there's no way, you know, that she could be pregnant. And this is where I hate, okay, this is where logic, I feel like, skips people, okay? If you do not want to have a baby, you do stuff to prevent that, correct? Correct. If you are not doing anything to prevent that, then that means you want a baby. that means you want a baby and you're just not gonna, like, you're not timing it. Like, you're literally willing to let nature take its course, right? For something that you don't want, you're surely not preventing it. And that's what's crazy, right? So she tells me this July 30th. I want to say he did not take a test until they had her and my other friends had came down here to go to a Kesha concert. And I think that was like August 19th, around like August 19th maybe, or August 9th. It was around August, just know that. It was around August. And we had to literally, my other friend bought her a pregnancy test. And mind you, pregnancy tests aren't cheap. They ain't cheap. We got back, she peed on the stick, it was negative, thank you God. Right? Now, I know you're probably wondering, why didn't she just use protection? Well, her logic of things was because she got birth control in her arm, she thinks that, you know, veterinary diseases, STIs, HIV, anything that is a disease is now no longer a problem. When in the name it's called birth control. It controls birth for you to not have a baby. It does not say disease control. Right? So let's just all take that in, right? So she just, and then she randomly was like, oh yeah, condoms are just uncomfortable for her. Let me tell you something. You think a little rubber is uncomfortable? How uncomfortable you think you're gonna feel pushing out a watermelon out of your hoo-ha? How? Let's think about it. Rubber, baby head. Rubber, cranium. Rubber, a full human being. You want to talk about pain? Right. Right. Okay. So that was the whole pregnancy situation, right? Then, now that I'm looking at my receipts, the same day, mind you, she texted me that, I think it was like, it was 11 o'clock in the morning. She texted me again at 5:02, same day, July 30th, right? She comes out of nowhere. She's like, I'm not happy in this relationship. And then she goes on to say, he's broke as F, can't provide for me when I need something. What's the point of being with a man who can't provide? And we all know I'm high maintenance. Okay, let's pause right there. If you're high maintenance, why are you if you know so much about yourself, Why are you putting yourself in situations that you know you cannot handle? Like, I'm pretty sure you knew he didn't have no money when you got with him. I'm pretty sure you knew he wasn't the CEO of Amazon or Elon Musk. I'm pretty sure you knew that before you got with him. Why is it all of a sudden a problem now, right? I'm like, is that all that's making you unhappy? Because if it's just the fact that he don't got no money, it's giving real gold digger vibe. And I'm gonna tell you right now, where you're looking at, you ain't gonna find you a rich man, okay? You're not gonna find you a rich man. Not to mention, if you're looking for in the age range of which we are, you're definitely not gonna find you no rich man. We're all struggling. Poor. Poverty is real. Inflation is real. Gas is $4 damn. $4 damn. And you want to talk about, mind you, he has his own house. He's paying rent. Got his own court. He's paying a car note, insurance, his phone bill. And you want to talk about something he ain't got no money for you. He's trying to survive. What are you doing? Right. So I'm like, is that all? Sorry. Something just came out of my account. I got scared. Okay. She then proceeds to say, then he's also very annoying sometimes because he plays too much and he has autism, which is annoying for me to deal with sometimes. But then again, it's not too bad because my sister also has autism. Let's pause there. Let's pause there. I'm not gonna read this whole thing. I'm gonna give you guys the cliff notes and I'm gonna just put them there. You can pause and read them if you want to. You can pause and read them, but I'm not gonna read the whole thing. So I'm just reading the important parts. So you're basically saying he's annoying because he has autism. Again, another quality that you knew before getting with him, right? A whole nother quality that you knew. You knew he wasn't big bank, and you knew he wasn't your normal brain. You know, you're a normal human being, even though the normal human being has a little bit of autism, right? But you knew, again, all things you knew, right? And then saying that you can handle it because your sister has autism. Do they have the same autism or is it different? Because if you're just comparing, that's weird. She proceeds to talk about his mental health. Talking about he gets depressed all the time. He be having mood swings. Let me tell you something. I don't know if I said this in part 1, but I'll say it again in part 2. They did not work because he was the male version of her. The mood swings and depression, poo, that's you. The playing too much, slightly autistic, boo, that's you. The don't got no money, boo, that's you. Cause I wonder if you got a see, I'm getting rowdy. Let me calm down. He reflected so much of her that it didn't work. She goes on talking about his mental health. It's like she basically didn't want to have to sit here and help him and all that other stuff. Mind you, throughout this relationship, she literally was like, oh yeah, he gets me, you know. He basically helps her get out of her funk or get out of her head. But you're sitting here telling me that you don't want to be what he is for you, for him. Right. And she proceeds to talk about his looks. Talk about he's ugly. He need to get his hair done. Also talks about his hygiene. And again, like I said at part 1, right now, if you ain't got no good hygiene, you're not coming up in my vagine. Okay. So she goes on, she's going on and on about this. And then here's the kicker. He makes a joke about her sister and it turns into a big thing. Her sister no longer likes him. And then after all this, I then asked her the question of a lifetime. The question that I feel like I've asked her since I've met her is what do you think emotional connection is and physical connection is. What do you think they both are? Because I fear, my dear, you don't know the difference between the two. Okay? She then gives me her definition. She says, emotional connection to me is when I feel like a person truly understands me on a deeper level. They know who I am and how I act, and they still love me, even though I may be a little bit much to handle. Then she's like, physical connection is when I can be intimate with someone. That sounds very textbook rated. Very good. But that's the thing though. She's the type of person, as we're seeing, that she can talk the talk and talk that game, but when it comes to actions, that's a whole different ball game. That is a whole different ball game when it comes to actually doing the action, right? And then she proceeds to say, and I mean, I'm happy with him, but there are things I'm not liking that I want to be changed. Now, remember when I said that, I don't know if I put this in part 1, but she basically was saying that she was happy but unhappy, right? So that's when I said, which I'm, again, not sure if I put this in part 1, but I'm gonna say it again, where I said, is he everything that you need and lacks what you want, or is he everything that you want and lacks what you need? And that's when she proceeds to say, you know, he's everything that I want. No, he's everything that I need, but is lacking things that I want, right? And I proceed to tell her, again, if he is everything that you need, then that's one thing. Like, that's the thing that you need to stick with. Because having someone that has everything that you want and not what you need is where things get complicated, is where divorce happens, is where splits happen. Because after a while, because little do we know, our wants change. Our needs can also fluctuate, but 9 times out of 10, they don't. Like everyone needs love. Everybody needs care. You know? Everybody wants someone to hear them. Everybody needs someone to hear them. And sometimes wants too. But that's the thing though. Our wants fluctuate more than our needs do. Necessarily for me, I feel like needs in life actually add on. They add more than they decrease. Or I feel like wants, they decrease more than they add. You know? Like, I can want a Ferrari tomorrow. But that don't mean I wanted a Ferrari yesterday. Or that don't mean I'm gonna want one when I wake up 2-3 weeks later. It fluctuates. So, and that's what I explained to her. I said, your wants are gonna come with the relationship. They're gonna come. Your wants will grow as the relationship grows. Because what you may think that you want in the beginning of the relationship may not be what you want in the middle of the relationship. And that's when you communicate to him like, hey, you know, I want us to be more like this. I want us to be more like that. That's when you start the communication and the understanding and all the other things that come with being in a committed relationship, right? Then I asked her, I'm like, what is it that you want? She proceeds to say she wants someone to take care of her when she's in need all the time. She wants someone who can take care of themselves mentally and physically, as in hygiene, putting a little bit of effort into how you look, and mentally take care of your mental issues and stuff like that. I want someone who has goals and actually makes plans to do those goals. He's lacking in those areas. Quote what she says. Now, again, she's naming all these things, and yet everything that she listed is everything that she is in, besides the hygiene part. Besides the hygiene, girl got good hygiene. But everything else, baby, you ain't got it. And that's when I then say to her, I'm like, one thing that you don't want to do is you don't want to ask of stuff from somebody else that you're lacking. Like, you want him to get his mental together, you get your mental together. Like, you want him to get his physical together, you get your physical together. And the looks part, I'll give her that. The looks too. You don't even do half the stuff that you just named. And then I asked her, I'm like, do you believe that you're everything that you're asking him to be? Because sometimes when we're asking so much of a person is because we ourselves want to change as well. but we would rather tell somebody else to change than change ourselves, right? So I'm like, do you believe that you're everything that you're asking him? She basically was just like, she doesn't feel like what she is asking is anything crazy. Like, you were basically asking that man to change his whole, basically who he is necessarily for you, for a girl that he has only known for a few months. Not to mention, again, you're asking him to change, but what will you be doing while he's changing? I want to say I told her, if you want it to be real, stay. If you don't want to wait, leave. Like, don't pull him through the ringer. And she pretty much was just like, she's just gonna go with her heart, and her heart is telling her that she's happy, and she's just being dramatic, and let the cards play on, blah, 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 right? Cool. We get back to school, I want to say August, it might have been August 11th or August 12th. I know I got there a day before her. So we get back to school. Tommy helps move Josie in and everything. And after she's moved in, he leaves. Okay. But she texts him to, call, text, whatever. Come back. I want to say, was it that same weekend? Yeah, I think it was the same weekend or the weekend after. I think it was the weekend after. Yeah, after we had been there for like a week. No, I think after we had been there for like a week, that next weekend, she asked him to drive back down there. To drive down back to the school to bring her wig, right? I'm guessing he had told her he couldn't find it or whatever. And somehow he still drove down there even though he didn't need to. And I'm guessing, I know. She didn't tell him not to come, right? So he drives down here. Now, in the midst of her telling him to come down here, she meets this new suitor, okay? The new suitors, you know what? Suitor's too good. She meets her new prey. Because at this point, girl, you are an animal. You are a predator. And not in that way. Not in that way. Like more so a lion and a gazelle type way. Not in that way. Okay? But you are a lion. And these men are gazelles to you. And they're gonna eat them, right? She meets her new prey. And we're gonna name him Kobe. Kobe with a K. Okay? Kobe! She meets Kobe while we're in band camp, because that's why we're early. We're in band camp, okay? So we're in band camp. She meets Kobe. She likes Kobe. Kobe and her start following each other on Snapchat. They're talking. And not like conversations as in she's in a relationship. They're talking. They're also hanging out with the other friends. And it's, again, she's not acting like she still has a boyfriend, right? While she's doing all of this, her man is coming down. I think he was coming down on Friday, right? So, meets Kobe. They're, talking for like a week. Tommy comes down and she leaves Tommy in our room so she can go hang out with Kobe. Leaves Tommy in the room all day. I can no longer go to my room because no offense, I do not like Tommy. I don't like him. At least not enough to be in a room with him by myself. Okay? No. So, not to mention, remember in part 1 I said my room should be my sanctuary, my peace, and didn't feel like that when that happened either. So she leaves Tommy in the room by himself all day. Then I think after that, let me take a step back actually. Oh, like I said, remember when I told you Josie and Kobe were talking, right? They were talking, they were hanging out. And during this time, she then is like realizing that she doesn't want to be with Tommy anymore, right? like trying to throw out subliminals to Tommy, right? She says to Tommy, she's like, we kind of built our relationship off of a friendship first, you know? He's like, yeah, it's nice. She says, exactly. We good friends for real. He's like, don't say that though. Why? She says. He says, sounds like you finna friend zone me. And are we not good friends? He says, yes, it's just how you said it. First of all, I hate the way that he spells said. It's just how you said it. It is a common line used when someone doesn't want a relationship. Right. So she's throwing this subliminal at him, and he's dipping and dodging that. Like, girl, what you talking about? Like, girl, don't say it, right? So then, like I said, he came there on Friday. She left him in the room all day on Friday, right? Saturday. No, when I got back, he stayed the night, which wasn't in the plans. When I got back to my room, they were sleeping on the bed together. I said, mind you, both of them were snoring. Side note, I just want to say I love being in my own room, okay? Because that was atrocious, and I honestly feel like whoever... Never mind. Just know, sleeping in the room with two people that are snoring, playing snore tag, ain't fun. It ain't fun. Okay? Anyway, so Friday he stays over. Saturday, she asks me, she's like, where you're at? I'm like, I'm in our other friend's room. Cause again, I don't feel comfortable being in the room with him. And I think she left him in the room yet again by himself for a few hours. So she says, oh, I said, I'm in my friend's room. She's like, okay, Tommy is mad I didn't spend time with him last night. So he don't want to leave yet. Maybe you should have spent time with him and we wouldn't have this problem. But I digress. So she's like, I'm sorry, girl. This is the last time he's coming over because I know you want to be in the room. Again, Josie likes to acknowledge a lot of stuff, but does she really understand? Who knows? So then at 1:48, I say, is he still there? She's like, yeah, he's still there. They accidentally fell asleep, so he's gonna leave at 5. I'm like, thumbs up, whatever. Then 5 o'clock comes, he's gone. So then Tommy leaves. Then Tuesday, mind you, okay, Tuesday, she sends me screenshots of what her and Kobe have been talking about. Kobe's like, no, this is Snapchat. We're gonna block that out. You probably can't sleep, whatever. Anyway, just know this Snapchat. And on Snapchat, he's like, no, like, you're my girl. That's that. We just vibing until we make it official. This is Kobe, mind you. She still hasn't dropped Tommy yet. And then she puts, and she says, okay, I mess with it. Whoa. So then there's more messages from her and Kobe. Kobe's talking about, okay, good. If you need me, just let me know. And I just wanted to let you know I really mess with you, right? Josie then says, that's good to know. I with you too. Right? He says, Like a lot if you didn't tell. Wait, huh? Like a lot if you didn't tell me. Right. I don't know what that was illiterateness right there. Then she says, I didn't want to assume anything, to be honest. So glad you told me for real. Right? Then Kobe proceeds to say, I don't want you to be my girl. Wait, sorry. Let me reverse. I do want you to be my girl, but I still want to get to know you more, you know? Josie says, yeah, for sure. We gotta hang out more and talk more. You know, Kobe agrees, right? So this is what she sent me, right? So I'm sitting there and I'm just like, okay. Again, at this time, I want to say she still hasn't broken anything off with Tommy, right? So I think the next week, she finally broke it off with Tommy. Now her and Kobe are talking, right? They're trying to talk at least, you know? And it's getting complicated. She's complaining that Kobe doesn't talk to her. Well, no, she's complaining that every time she try to plan something, Kobe doesn't have time, or like he can't go, or they don't never really plan to hang out, and all this stuff, right? And in the midst, hold on. When her and Kobe had their first real conversation, she came back and told me what Kobe said, right? And Kobe basically was like, I'm on my the main thing that was in bold letters for me was him saying, I'm on my lover boy-ish right now. I'm like, girl, we're all not stupid and we're all not dumb. When a dude say they on their lover boy-ish, they really mean I'm on my boy stuff, right? We're all not dumb to that. So I'm just like, he's letting you know what he's on. Okay? Open your eyes, please. Right? And she's like, yeah. And he basically why he said that, what also confirmed what the whole lover boy stuff was him saying he's not really looking for a relationship right now. How you on your lover boy-ish, but you not looking for a relationship? Right. So again, I say, he's telling you plain as day what he really trying to get into. And yet you're still going to sit here and play like you don't know. Right? And or better yet, playing like you know, but you didn't again, your actions never match up. Because she's also like, yeah, you know, I don't want a relationship right now either. Okay, cool. Yeah, so we all think they both on the same page, right? Right. So then, like I said, goes on to her complaining that he don't ever plan some time for them to hang out. Every time they plan something, he can't make it or nothing happens. Da, 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 da. And she's just going. Right? So then I want to say they finally make time to go hang with each other. And I think I'm trying to remember if this is the time, because I think she went. Okay. So she had went over to his dorm. Well, to his apartment, dorm apartment, whatever. She had went over to his dorm apartment, whatever. I don't think his roommates were there. Yeah, this time I don't think his roommates were there. And basically, they were sitting on the couch. And she let him, you know, touch down under, right? Now, again, because I know we're all not dumb and we're all not stupid, let's visualize it together, You with a dude, you go to his house, you sit on the couch with him, you let him touch you down there, right? You let him get a little brisket, right? And then he tries to go in for a kiss. And normal people, right? Normal people. You know, since I already let you, let's kiss. Kissing shouldn't be a problem, right? She doesn't let him kiss her. Right? So he's then mad. Kobe's upset now that he didn't get no kiss. Right? And when she came back and told me the story, I'm just like, well, if I was a dude, if I had a little thingy thing, I would be quite, maybe not upset, but confused, because you let me touch what should be your most prized possession, but you won't let me kiss you. Now, again, for me, because I get it, every person, every woman, male, whatever, values their body parts differently. Okay? Me personally, my little situation down there is only ever going to be unlocked for my husband. For Mr. Whoever. That's the only time that will be unlocked. So, kissing, for me, would be level 1. I don't know how kissing for you is... I don't know how kissing for her is not level 1. You get it? Because, I'm going to tell you right now, he done skipped the level already. Normally, it goes level 1, level 2, level 3... That girl wasn't, she got her levels mixed up, right? So yeah, Kobe gets mad that he doesn't get a kiss. Cool. And that's when she stopped talking to Kobe. The first time. Now, all of a sudden, Kobe's weird. Kobe's, every time we see Kobe in the K, she's like, look at the way he walks. Look at what he's doing. Like, he think he's so cool. He think he's so fresh. Da 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 da. Right? Pull, And then, all of a sudden, Tommy comes out of the blue. Tommy comes back up. Out of the blue, yet again, Tommy comes back into the picture. And at first, they were just FaceTiming each other and talking. They were cool. They were friends, right? Then one day, I walk into my room. She's on the phone with her sister. And she's like, yeah, me and Tommy are back together. I'm like, mind you, at the time, she had only started back talking to Tommy for like a few days. For like a week. I'm like, what do you mean back together? She's like, yeah, he asked me to be his girlfriend. And I said, yeah. I'm just like...
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Let me sip on. Let me just, because... Let me get this straight. He asked you to be his girl again. You said yes, even though you still have the same problems as when you dumped him. Like, he still ain't got no money. He's still ugly. He still ain't got no good hygiene. He still got mental issues. What's new? Right? So, out of the blue, her and Tommy back together. Me and her sister, we're trying to tell her, we're not understanding why you're still with him. Or better yet, we're not understanding why you got back with him. For what? Right? And then, now, Then comes this glorious day. I want to see if I still have the pictures. I will find the pictures and I'm gonna add them right next to me, okay? These pictures are, oh, wait, I can't even add the pictures because it'll show her face. It'll show her face and it'll show Kobe's face, right? So we go over to our other friend's apartment, dorm, whatever. We go over there and you know, it's all of us were getting a little buzzed, getting a little drunk. I think that might have been the night I might have been crossfaded. I may have been. I don't remember. I may have been crossfaded. I'm not sure. I think. Or I may have just been high. No, I was crossfaded. No, I was high. Yeah. So, you know, we're all high. We all crawling, you know, everybody's high. We having a good time. I get high. We having a good time. And over there is Kobe. Now, mind you, this whole time since Kobe did that weird stuff and she stopped talking to Kobe, Kobe's been, you know, the weirdo. Every time she sees him, she got something to say. Like, look at him. You think he's so cool. You think he's so fresh. He's real ugly. Right. So, you know, Kobe's just been this, that, and the third. But all of a sudden, we're seen rubbing and, you know, all up on Kobe. Mind you, again, still talking to Toby. Funny part. Not really a funny part. The most bombastic part of the story is why she's doing that. Why she's doing that. Tommy is texting her in panic because he just told his brother something tragic that happened to him, right? And he's like, his brother didn't react to it very well, and da-da-da-da-da. Now, mind you, when she was telling us this, when she was showing us this, I was still very high. I thought I dreamt that entire thing. I thought I was dreaming. I thought I was in a daze. I thought it wasn't real. Found out the next day that it was real. And he's basically I guess he was calling, he was texting her, and he basically was at the moment was like kind of bringing down her vibe. And she didn't like that. So that was strike one necessarily. Well, more like strike 1,000, but strike one for her. So while Tommy is like telling her all this is happening, she's getting upset because she's like, oh my God, he's ruining my high, he's ruining my fun, da-da-da-da. And she just, I think after that, she just ignores him the whole time. And goes back to, yeah, rub it all up on Kobe. Right? So, now, again, I'm high, but at this moment, now I'm coming down from my high. You know, now I'm kind of dipping down from my high. And, yeah. So she leaves, right? And I can't remember if this was the same night where she was freaking the fudge out because she was high too. I don't remember. It might have been a different night. It may have been. No, I think it was a different night. So we all leave. We all go back to our room. And yeah, that was when her and Kobe all of a sudden are cool. And they're talking. She's like, yeah, no, we're just friends. We're just friends, right? We're just friends. But now that she's talking back with Kobe, all of a sudden, Tommy is now aggravating her. Right? So, at this point, I think we go on fall break, we come back. And she's like, yeah, it's over between me and Tommy. We're done. Donezo, blocked, da-da-da-da. We're like, okay, cool. Right? Now she's more focused on Kobe. Her and Kobe go on this he takes her on this little hangout date, whatever you want to call it, to Chili's, even though she had to drive because, again, another quality that she knew about a man, but yet became a big deal for her, was that Kobe ain't got no car. He can drive, but he just ain't got no car on campus, right? So she had to drive, they go to Chili's. He pays for her, and keeps it cool. So then after they went on that, he was just like, you're really hard to please. He texted, he's like, you're really hard to please, because mind you, Kobe's on his for boy stuff, right? So he's doing all this really to get something in the end, right? So after them going to Chili's and, all that other stuff, she then goes on Tinder, right? She's on Tinder and she swipes to a girl that is like her and her boyfriend are looking for a third partner, right? Now, she is she's typing them willing to go. And she goes, right? I'm telling her, I'm just like, okay, be careful, girl, because at the end of the day, you're grown. Like, I can't do nothing about it. I never cared what Josie did as long as she was being safe about it. Because, she's not the first person in America to do that. But, again, be safe, right? So, she goes over. She actually does it. Comes back the same night. Comes back like a few hours later. And it's like, yeah, I'm just like, oh. And, of course, she told me details that I didn't want to know. Didn't really want to know. But, yeah. Then, the next night, she's going to Kobe's dorm, right? Now, again, big fat sign. Kobe puts in his Instagram note, basically insinuating that he's gonna crack. He finna get something tonight, right? She's over here. We're both looking at. I'm like, oh, and she's like, I don't know what he's talking. He ain't gonna get that from me. Like, I don't know what he's talking about. Right. So she's just like, girl, I don't know what he's talking about. I'm just going there to watch a movie. Da, da, da. The next morning, she comes home. She's like, yeah, we did something, but we didn't finish. I'm like, didn't you say you was going over there to watch a movie? Not make a movie? What the hell? So she's like, yeah. We was chilling in the bed. They started something, but he then stopped because he was like, he didn't want to wake up his roommates, right? Now, again, I don't care what you do. Just be safe about it, okay? I don't care who you do it with. I don't care where you do it with. Just be safe. Now, I'm saying that because just the other day, she did it with 2 other people, right? Then the next day, you gonna do it with Kobe. Mind you, unprotected yet again. Unprotected yet again. Unprotected to the point where she's like, when later on, when we were like talking about it, she was like, yeah, I don't know if like anything happened. I'm just like, what do you mean you don't know? Right? So, her and Kobe do a little something, but she was pissed off. She was pretty much upset because, he didn't finish. He didn't seal the deal. He didn't finish. Or she didn't get to finish. Whichever one. Right? So I think that's when he was just like, oh, you're hard to please, and da 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 da. And then I want to say it may have been like maybe 2 weeks, a week, like 2 weeks, a week ago, a week later, 1 to 2 weeks later, Kobe finds out that she had a whole menage, right? He finds out. He goes ballistic. He's pissed off. Because he feels like, oh, you sitting there playing. Now, he said some real outrageous stuff. He called her a hoe. And some other stuff. And some other stuff. Now, the other stuff was uncalled for. Him calling her a hoe at this moment wasn't very uncalled for. Okay? Because was it a lie, though? Right? So, he went off. He's upset. He's basically like, lose my number. Don't talk to me no more. Da 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 da. Now, funny part. She's trying to figure out who told him because she had only told a few people. And mostly people that she doesn't think that talked to him. The only person that she had told that talked to him was our other friend. And our other friend was like, she didn't say anything, right? So, to this day, we don't know how that man found out. Okay? Or at least I don't know. I don't know how that man found out. So, yeah. So, like I said, Kobe finds out. And me and my friends were like debating because I'm like, in my head, I'm putting myself in his shoes. Like, if a dude sat there and had a and then came to be with me, I know from me, I would feel some type of way. And especially the fact that, number one, you didn't tell me, because if you would have told me, I would have at least, like, I would have asked you the simple question of, did you use protection? Because, again, I don't know you, you don't know me, we don't know each other. Right? And that kind of, I would feel like you really just, like, not to mention, she also made she made Kobe go through all these hoops and all these twists and turns to get to made him go through all that to then just give it up to two random people. But for him, he had to put in the work. And then again, you didn't give him the opportunity to even decide if he still wanted to do it. Because again, it's not like you use protection. So if he would have called something, if Josie would have called something and gave it to him, child, that would have been a whole nother thing. But again, I was just like, I get why he would be mad. Now, were some of the things that he said uncalled for? Yes. But I get why he's mad. So, after that blew up in Josie's face, we then proceed to go on, Thanksgiving break. Yes. We go on Thanksgiving break, and all of us, we go on Thanksgiving break. We come back home. Like I said, a lot happened to her, a lot happened to me, a lot happened to all of us while we was home. And that's when she stopped talking to everybody and all that other stuff in part 1. Now, remember in part 1 when I told you that here's where ish hit the fan for real? While, now we're all cool, we're all talking, we all get it. we're sitting on her bed and I see a message pop up. I'm like, The message says the initial of Tommy, right? And I'm just like, And then I start putting two and two together. She wasn't talking to us, but all of a sudden now she's talking to us. And then, literally that same day that I saw that, she normally, she doesn't care about taking phone calls in the room. This time, she goes all the way out of our room, and I think she went down to the lobby to take this phone call. I'm like, oh. And I'm putting two to two together. I go to my other friend, I'm like, yo, Josie's talking to Tommy again. She's like, yeah. I'm like, girl, you know? Mind you, for what reason, we don't know. Right? So she's talking to Tommy again. But this time, she's not telling us anything. She's not telling any of us anything. Right? So I'm just sitting around for, I think, at that time, it was maybe like 2 weeks. I'm sitting there, I'm just like, yo, they back talking for real. This is insane. Like, what the? So, not only did she break up with Tommy twice, but now she's back with him for a third time, right? So, she's talking to Tommy and she's like really keeping it on the down low and not really saying anything. Then we go into, I don't think anything happened after that. I'm trying to think. Make sure I'm not missing anything. Hold on. Let me check my receipts. Okay. So I don't think anything happened between there. Oh! Hold up. Reverse back. We're gonna come back to Tommy and her talking again. Reverse back. Before we went on Thanksgiving break, she started hanging out in the freshman dorms. Right? It was November 5th. No, November 7th. We had all agreed that I think it was after I got off of work, we were going to go to Harrisonburg and, go to the store and all that stuff. All me, Josie, and our other friend. So I go back to the room. She's not there. I'm like, with my other friend, we're looking at her location. She's in the freshman dorm. We're like, Like, why is she in the freshman dorm? She don't know nobody there? Apparently she did. So, I believe, we text her at 6 o'clock. Are we still going to the store? Hold on. At 6:31, I said, well, we're leaving, so, we're leaving. She then goes into the group. So, no, we leave. Me and my other friend, we leave. We go to the store. After we went to the stores, we go to Cookout. Right? Because, we're a little bit hungry. We're starving. We're a little parched. We go to Cookout. Please tell me why she then puts in the chat on myself, oh, I see people at Cookout leaving me is crazy. Leaving you? Me and my other friend are getting heated. Because we're like, girl, what? Apparently, I'm like, did you not get my text? She's like, what text? I'm like, and I screenshot them. Because I'm like, I don't know who you thought you was finna play with, but you're not finna play with me. Because I 100% texted you. And I didn't get no response back. Because you're too busy being fast at a freshman dorm. Right. So, yeah, she's sitting there just really trying to rage bait the mess out of me and my other friend. So we get back, you know, and that was before we went on spring break. I just had to add that in. And I added that in because whole time it's because she was out there messing with some freshmen. And when we were like, when our other friend was asking her, hey, why was you over there? She was like, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Right. Excuse me. So, back to her and Tommy. Her and Tommy are now talking, right? They're back talking. We go on winter break. I'm still in shock. And now that we're going on winter break, now she's posting him on Instagram. You know, now he got a job at Starbucks. Because also, in the midst of their second breakup, in the midst of their first breakup, found out that Tommy lost his job at Dunkin' Donuts. So, yeah, now he's working at Starbucks. You know, he's making a little coin. And now they're cool. You know, they're cordial. She's posting a thank you, babe. Thank you, babe. Posting her free drink. Thank you, baby. Right? So, we get back spring break. And now she's like, she's a little bit more comfortable. Still trying to hide it, but more comfortable. You know, now she's on FaceTime with him in the room. And da-da-da-da. And, you know, they're just talking, whatever. So, we come back spring break. I leave. I basically resigned. I'm not going to say drop out because I didn't drop. I don't feel like I dropped out. I feel like I resigned. I resigned from that college, right? And I leave within like this. I wouldn't say it was the second week or so. Yeah, the second week of spring break, right? I leave. I move out. And not even 24 freaking hours. My bed's not even cold yet. My other friend calls me and she's like, tell me why Josie just came in the room to ask me if Tommy can come over. Mind you, she was not bringing that man up when I was there. The moment I leave, now you feeling comfortable for him to come over? Right? And that whole time he was there, they was like, yeah, no, she hasn't came out her room. I'm just like, wow. Wow, right? So I'm sitting there like, I see you. I see you now. Like, I see you. Remember I said, once I start to see who you really are, oh, I'm over it now. I'm like, got it. So, yeah, not even 24 hours after I moved out, she invited him over. Then we have this big snowstorm, and Tommy's dumb self comes in the middle of the snowstorm. And she did not tell him, hey, don't come. He still comes. In the middle of the snowstorm, he ends up staying there for almost a damn week. Because, again, it was a snowstorm, so then his car got snowed in. Right? So. I don't even know what to say after that. So, after that, pretty much, I want to say that's when, was that? Yeah. After that, that's when they ended up coming down to my house. Yeah, after I left, they came down to my house for the weekend. At that point, I really didn't want her to come. Okay, I'm gonna be honest, and I'm gonna be real with you. Really didn't want Josie to come because I cannot remember what she did, but hold on, because now I'm thinking I'm starting to remember. So I think I'll look. So I think it was just the fact that my bed wasn't even. No, I think it was the fact that she all of a sudden felt comfortable at her life. So then I was pissed off. So then that's when I didn't want her to come to my house. I was just like, I really don't want her to come, right? And also because we didn't think she wasn't confirming if she was coming or not. So then they end up coming for that weekend and she ends up coming. Now, I genuinely only feel like she came because she wanted her hair done. That's literally the only reason I feel like she came, right? And she comes over, it's cool, whatever, she leaves. And yeah, I was glad when she was gone, right? So then, it's been like a few weeks after I'm out of school, and she was posting like weird stuff on her Instagram note. You know, like strike 1, strike 2, strike 3, and we don't know who she's talking about. We're all confused. And then, my friend is like, at this point, we're just putting in guesses, and my friend's like, she's like, maybe he's talking about moving in and proposing. Jesus, I can't talk. And proposing or whatever. And that's when I was like, yeah, she posted like strike 1, strike 2. No, we're not understanding. And then my friend's like, basically, she said that she's not looking for a long-term relationship because she's young, but she wants to have a boyfriend. If you're not looking for a long-term relationship, but you want to have a boyfriend, maybe you shouldn't be in a relationship of any type. Like, what I'm hearing is you just want the label. You don't necessarily want the whole package of what entails of a boyfriend, right? So then my friend was like, she asked her, did she mean like you're like, you don't want a forever person? She's like, yeah, she just wants to enjoy the rest of her life while she's young. So she can do whatever she wants, but also just wants to have a boyfriend and still be able to like party and stuff. Now, granted, can you still do that stuff with a man? Yes, but with moderation and with your man. Right. But in that context, I don't think she was saying with her man, right? So then after a while, me and my friends were just like, girl, they make TOYs for a reason, okay? Use them. Y'all them. And I think that was like a few days ago we had found out. She was like, yeah, no, she don't like using her TOYs because she don't like she don't like putting it, she don't like doing it herself. There we go. There we go. She don't like doing it herself. What exactly is doing it? You get it. If you get it, you get it. If you don't, it's not meant for you, right? So, and also during this time, she's like, I guess when she was with my friends, she pretty much was like ilking on like love stuff and all this other stuff, and we were all yet again confused because we're just like, girl, why are you ilking love? Ain't that what you in right now? Like, ain't that what you, don't you want love? Maybe not. So yeah, that's when she started acting weird. And then I think they were planning this Galentine's thing.
It's time for bed.
Ooh. Oh no. So while we're having this same conversation, I want to say it was rather this same day. Yeah, no, the day before when I was like, oh yeah, I saw her post strike 2 the other day. they had FaceTimed me. Because they were picking up stuff for the Galentine's thing they were doing. And they had FaceTimed me, and we was talking about Valentine's Day, and they were talking about a day to do it, because they were like, yeah, they didn't want to do it on Valentine's Day because one person got a situationship, and then at the time Josie was in a relationship, so we're just like, is he not like, they asked her, they're like, isn't Tommy coming down for Valentine's Day? And she was like, she's like, yeah, and whatever. Then that same day, after we were all confused about the no, and we kind of were recapping, within that same day, my friend then texts the group chat, and she's like, disregard everything that she just said, because her and Tommy basically broke up, right? They basically broke up, and I'm just like, oh my, right? And I low-key laughed out loud when I saw it. I was just like, ha! Can't say I didn't see it coming, right? And then my friend tells me what she said. Basically, Josie said that she was being a bitch to him on purpose, so that he would break up with her and block her and all that other stuff, so that he wouldn't think there was a chance of them getting back together. Mind you, she set that system up. She's the one that kept saying, yeah, I'll be your girlfriend. Yeah, I'll be your girlfriend. But you were being mean to him because you didn't want him to fall in the same cycle that you created. Like, you didn't want him to keep falling in the trap that you made. Right? So now I'm pissed off. And I'm pissed off for the fact that, one, you sat there and you, again, pulling people into your ish because you don't know how to be adult enough and just say, this isn't working. I'm not ready for it. I don't really, I don't think you're what I'm looking for at this moment. You could be adult enough to sit there and say that to him. But you want to sit there and talk about ain't nobody being adult enough to come to you and talk to you. But you can be adult enough and just tell him, hey, this isn't going to work, and block him like a regular, civilized human being. And it pissed me off because I'm just like, if she can do that to him, she can do that to me. If you can sit there and be a bitch to somebody because you don't want him, because you're not adult enough to sit there and tell him, hey, this ain't gonna work, and remove him from your life. Right. So I was pretty upset. And I was just like, it gives very much, she's saying that to make herself feel better. Like, saying that you did it because you don't want him to think that there's a chance of y'all getting back together. Even though any other time that y'all have gotten back together was on your terms. Because you're the one that said yeah. Right. So that pissed me off. That is where I was just like, okay, yeah. Like, at that point, she was, in my brain, considered an associate at that point. Like, you are an acquaintance and an associate. That's all you can be at this moment, because that really pissed me off, right? So then, literally, mind you, this all happened February 5th. February 11th, my other friend texts, and he's confused because she just got broken up with, and yet here she is talking to other dudes. Mind you, it hadn't been a week yet, right? And I'm just like, and me being who I am, I was just like, at this point, girl, just walk around with a sign on her pants that says open for business, any business. Because, I mean, You is open for business. But I mind my business, right? And then I came to the other conclusion of this is yet again proving the statement, or proving my fact of her wanting the benefits of a relationship but not wanting the actual relationship as itself. You know, like, you want someone to take care of you. You want someone to hunch on. You want somebody to cater to you. You know, like you are Cleopatra. And, hun bun, you're nowhere near it. You are nowhere near Cleopatra, okay? Nowhere near that. But yeah. So, after that then came March 6th. Okay? Now, I wasn't going to put this in there. I wasn't going to put this in the video in part 2. I was honestly going to make a part 3. But I think I'll still make the part 3. But it would be more so I feel like I'll probably do it more so for like my other friends' point of views. You know? So they can tell their story. But now comes the great day of March 6th. And all of my friends are on spring break, right? It's literally, I think it was Friday. They were literally coming back to school that Monday. And I wake up to go to work. I'm up at like 6 o'clock. I think it was like 7 or 6 o'clock in the morning. And I'm doing my daily, you know, my morning scroll of Instagram. And I see her story. Click it. And it's basically her talking about ain't nobody being an adult. Ain't nobody being an adult. No one's coming to her like an adult. People are lying on her name. If you don't like her, tell her. If there's a problem, come to her. She's tired of people. She's tired of school. She's also tired of not having a job, even though sis had 2 jobs. Currently could still have one, but she doesn't want to take that opportunity. She got a job at Family Dollar and didn't even show up to orientation, but you want to talk about something, you ain't got no job? You tired of not having a job? Right. And then something possessed me to then go to check my DMs in Instagram. I go check my DMs. The first thing I see is the group chat that we were all in on Instagram. My friend's like, why did she leave? I click. It says it says Josie has left the group chat. I'm like, what the fuck? So then I go to see if she unfollowed. I go to her profile and it shows sis unfollowed me, my other friend, and sis unfollowed me and 2 other friends. Mind you, she unfollowed the person that she lives with. Right? So then I go to iMessages. Go to my iMessages. Says, blank, blank. Says, you know, blank, blank, has left the group chat. Has removed themselves from the group chat. And I'm sitting there like, what the fuck? Right? I go to Live 360 because we all have each other on Live 360. She took herself out of Live 360. Took herself out of Live 360. I said, oh, I know you're lying to me. I know you are joking, right? So I'm just confused. Confused. So I'm texting everybody. Mind you, it's early in the morning. No one's up. I'm like, what the heck happened? When I went to sleep. Because I had saw my friend's note. And I'm like, did her and my friend have a fallout? What happened? I was confused, right? And then comes to find out everybody's confused. Everybody's confused. No one knows what's going on. So then, me being the adult of the situation, I go to her like she wanted so badly, right? I'm like, so what's going on, right? She sends me this very lengthy paragraph. Not even a paragraph, girl. That's a damn essay. I'm gonna put it right here. Y'all pause and read it. I'm gonna give you the cliff notes, okay? Basically, in this whole paragraph, she's basically talking about she feels like she's not a part of the group anymore, and a few days before, right? A few days before, she had sent in the group chat, is 39, I think, yeah, is 39 and 19 bad. And I'm like, and you know, we all are just like, bad for what exactly? What are you talking about? Because I'm like, I know you're not talking about no dang age. And she's like, yeah, and you know, my other friend, now mind you, the only reason we reacted the way that we reacted is because she knows that we just went through this with a whole nother friend. We just went through this. Not to mention, why would we ever say that's okay? Right? So she then, you know, she sees her and she's like, I was just joking, don't mind me, I'm high. So she's saying that whole moment, she feels like she was being attacked. Mind you, how you feel like you being attacked when you came to us on some unsober shit? Right? You come to us unsober, yet you feel attacked when we... And mind you, nothing we said was worthy of attack, or whatever was worthy of the feeling of attacked. Nothing that we said, right? So she was like, basically that showed her that we were tired of her. Tired of you being stupid, yes. And tired of you acting, you know what? Right? And she was like, she understands that she gets herself in a lot of crazy situations, and she understands that she can be a lot for people. Now, mind you, here she goes again, acknowledging that you're a pain in my ass, but still continuously to be a pain in my ass. Right? What sense does that make? Right? So then she's like, I don't have no hate for y'all. I genuinely love y'all. I want the best for y'all. I just feel like mentally, I'm not in the capacity to, you know, be a friend or whatever. And she apologized for any distress and a whole bunch of other bullshit. Right? So I'm like, okay, so what was all that on your Instagram story? She then proceeds to say, she said what she said on her Instagram. Her basically says that she said what she said because she felt that way and she wanted to. Right? And then I'm just like, okay, but you want to talk about no one's coming to you as an adult. You didn't come to us as no dang adult. You went online. And she's like, yeah, basically, cliff notes, she didn't feel ready to talk about it to the people that it was meant for. And then I also asked her, I was just like, and who is lying on your name? Because one thing about it, two things for sure, we ain't never lied. We never lied. It never gave lie. It gave lie for you though, right? She was like, she wasn't just addressing us, and she was addressing a couple of friends at home, and she was like, it's not really me, it's mostly my two other friends. Now mind you, one of the two friends that she said, I wasn't 100% shocked, but I was like, girl, what? But the other friend that she said, oh, I was 100% shocked. Because I'm just like, the other friend that she mentioned literally apologizes for stuff that they haven't even done. But you want to talk about, right? And she hasn't talked to said friend. And mind you, they all live in the same facilities. The college isn't that big. right? So I'm like, now mind you, she then proceeds to say also, you know, she feel like they need to have a conversation, or conversations need to be hadn't been had, or whatever. And then she was like, for me, like, me and her already had the conversation. And the conversation she's referring to is when I told her, you know, hey, like, I gotta keep my distance a little bit. And I proceed to say, number one, did you talk to them? And then two, I'm like, okay, if me and you already had a conversation, why the heck did you unfollow me? Why did you cut me out? Right? And then she basically goes back to saying, because I wanted to, like she's a fucking kid, right? And she was like, she did what she felt was needed for her at the moment. Right. So I'm trying to remind her, I'm like, you do know that you still live with one of the two people, one of the three people that you stopped talking to, right? That you cut off, right? She's like, yeah, we'll talk eventually. Right? And then I was just like, does that mean that you are speaking to her there? Oh, yeah, because then she also was just like, she feels like she needs to heal on her own time, and she needs to heal by herself, and she's getting back into the word, and, you know, her grandpa got her a therapist, and all that other stuff, right? Now, here comes the BS, okay? And I might just go deeper into this in part 3. She said all of that, right? All that healing. She got her, like, she completely got off of Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok, right? Tell me why that lasted a week. No, that lasted 2 weeks. And within 2 weeks, she's talking to multiple dudes again, right? And within 2 weeks, why is she talking back with the illiterate dumbass? And I do mean dumbass. The illiterate dumbass from the beginning of the story. The football player? Yeah. Why is he all of a sudden back in the picture? What happened to healing by yourself? What happened to that? Again, proving my point of you feeding me bull crap. But you know what? That is the end of this part. Okay? That is the end of this part. Third part is going to be with me and my friends. And we're really, you know, I'm going to get their side of the story. Get their story out there. Because, you know, you continuously fed us all BS. Right? But like I said, this is the end of the story. Thank y'all for watching. If y'all ready, if y'all are excited and are ready for part 3, comment down below, like, subscribe, press that bell button next to that subscribe button so you can get post notifications when I drop another video. Better yet, when I drop part 3, the final part. Okay? But until next time, be blessed, be grateful, and, you know, live life to the fullest. Because one thing about 2 things is sure, you can never steal my joy. You can never steal my joy. But until then, love you guys. Bye!
Only been a few hours, but it felt like days. Only been days, but it felt like